Hey friends, the holidays are coming, and maybe your family is as complicated like mine. Maybe you've experienced some kind of change in this past year, things like a move or a job transition or just a life transition. You maybe became empty nesters or sent your first one to kindergarten. Sometimes you have a relationship change where you and your sister used to get along and now you're not really getting along. Sometimes these things happen in our lives that make the holidays seem even more stressful. But here's the truth. Whatever's going on in your life, God lays out some great strategies for you and I to help us get through the holiday season. In church, we talk about one of these strategies as being a Sabbath. When we hear the word Sabbath, it usually reminds us to think about taking a day off at the end of the week. Now, I don't know about you, but I find it really hard, really difficult to take an entire day off. I mean, I work all week, but then the weekend's full of catching up on the things in the house. It's going to hockey tournaments, trying to get all the things done that a modern life requires when I have to work all week. It seems unreasonable and almost even impossible to do no work for an entire single day. And so the last thing I actually need to worry about is whether or not I take a Sabbath, whether or not I take a whole day off at the end of the week. When Jesus was walking around with his disciples, and they were walking through a field, and they started to pick some heads of grain so that they could eat on the Sabbath because they were hungry. This outraged the leaders, and they kind of flipped out at Jesus. Jesus looks at them and he says, "Hey guys, you're getting it wrong. The Sabbath was made to meet the needs of people, not for people to meet the needs and requirements of the Sabbath. The Sabbath is for you to take what you need, like those disciples took those grains because they were hungry on that day." So here's the strategy I'm going to suggest for you this holiday season. A Sabbath day may not become. It may just be too busy for that, but maybe today you can take a Sabbath moment. When stress gets high, you step back for 10, 15 minutes to rest and regroup, to remind yourself that whose you are has more value than anything that you're ever going to do. To take 5, 10 minutes to just breathe, be still, and remember God's promises for you. Promises like, "Do not fear, I am with you. Do not be dismayed, I am your God. I'm going to strengthen you and I'm going to help you. I'm going to uphold you with my righteous hand." Promises like, "The Lord comforts his people and will have compassion on you when you're afflicted." Or promises like this, "For the Lord is good and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations." My friends, take a breath. Take a Sabbath moment to regroup, to reconnect with the God who loves you. And remember that you're always enough, you're always wanted, and you're always seen. Those are the promises from God to you today.